Yes.
Mic down. Turn it the other way.
Now I can't hear you. Still hearing on these speakers. I need some volume on here. That's a little better. Well, I gotta be cool. I'm knocking everything down. I can't get this. I don't know. All right, we're going live. We're going live. That's right, we are live. Not going live, we are live. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, and people of God here in Chicago and all around the world and around the globe. Thank you for tuning in once again to another edition of the Mark Allen Show. Hear my voice, and you're hearing my voice now 5 days a week, every day, Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock p.m. until 2 o'clock p.m. right here on this UBM Broadcast Network. We're streaming live all the time at urbanbroadcastmedia.com, urbanbroadcastmedia.com. And we want you to continue to join our campaigns to build up our own network. Notwithstanding being connected to all the other social media outlets, we want you all to do this. When the broadcast is over today, thank you all that have done it already, but we need more of you, all right? Let's get another 100 today. That after this broadcast, go to our social media page and like our page, UBM Radio. UBM Radio. And after you like the page, then subscribe to the page so that we now have you in our home base so that you can now be in tune to our live broadcasting all day, every day. And if you ever miss one of our shows at all, you can always get them on our UBM Radio page on YouTube. And so we're glad that you are tuning in, and we need you all to keep tuning in to this new Global News Forum and all of the new shows that are coming up here, the existing and new shows right here. When we keep asking God for solutions, what are the solutions to the violence? You'll find a lot of those solutions right here. The answers you're looking for is right here. The leadership you're looking for is in part right here. But then, after we help provide the lead, we're then asking you, friends, who are tuned in locally and nationally, especially those who are here in Chicago, who the world looks to us. And we're priding ourselves right here at UBM because when people keep looking up, saying, what's the answer? What is the solution to the violence? Then we're right here. And I'm right here to tell you to hear my voice that we can never solve the physical violence in our communities until we solve the economic violence. And over 95% of our people who are involved in the criminal justice system, they're there today doing something illegal, getting caught, trying to solve their desperate economic problems. And it ain't everything, but it's deeply rooted in all of what's going on. And then, and I see this over and over again, when I look up on these social media pages and people keep seeing these random acts of violence and the pain in our community, too many people are saying, Jesus intervene, God take the wheel, and all of that. And I'm saying to you, and I want you to hear, Jesus don't have to take the wheel. God don't have to intervene when they already have. They've already given us the power to put our people to work. They've given us the power to use the spending power and the number power that we have in our majority black communities, right? That we are the change that we've been looking for. And so it ain't enough Just say, God intervene, God take the wheel, Jesus intervene, Jesus take the wheel. No, at some point, we, beloved, have got to use the power that God has given us, right, to solve a lot of our own problems in addition to what we look at externally from other people. And what do I mean by that? We are deeply rooted in the fact that in a city like Chicago, and we say it over and over again until we get it, and then we become the leaders we've been looking for, and then we stop doing a lot of analyzing and start organizing. Then every day it's not about what Jesse doing, what Sharpton doing, what Farrakhan doing. Now we got to look up and say, what are we doing at the Mark Allen Show? What are we doing on all the different shows at UBM? Then the question, we turn the page, not to everybody else, but we turn the page to us, because God has given us that power. And we started off again telling you all the time, and you just take this in. It only takes $3 billion spent to sustain up to 50,000 jobs in the community, right? And here the black community is in Chicago, that if it only takes $3 billion spent to sustain up to 50,000 jobs, and the black community, as we speak in Chicago, spends $50 billion into this Chicago economy. But guess what? With all that power, we're spending it, putting everybody else to work. We're spending it, making everybody else rich. And then we look up and wonder, why is our kids loose squares and bootleg CDs and loud and all these other things, and then these other illegal drugs that are killing our people and our children. And then we look up and wonder why. And then we shout out, Jesus intervene. Dear Lord, take the wheel. And I'm simply saying right now, right here, we've got to be the leaders we've been looking for. And so there's a lot going on right here at UBM. When it comes to the empowerment of our people, feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, fighting for the least of our people, we've got all these programs going on all the time. And you can get them by tuning in to our UBM radio network. And our UBM network is now broadcasting all the time on YouTube, in addition to my own Facebook pages. And so at some point, we can't be like everybody else. We can't be, and we see you tuning in, the numbers are showing it. You're tuning in by the hundreds, you're tuning in by the thousands. But at a certain point, we've got to look up and say, what are we doing with our own numbers here on the UBM network? And that becomes what we're doing, and we turn the tables to us. So we're glad that you tuned in to all of these shows, and I'm glad that you're able to hear my voice. So because now we can organize. We can organize and make a difference. So we don't have to wait on nobody else to go spend dollars with our own community. We don't have to wait on nobody else. And we're working to organize, but we can't do it by ourselves. We need you. So first of all, let me thank people like Deanna Burrell. Deanna Burrell, who's working with us in National Black Wall Street, Chicago. You know, over the weekend, they had she heard my story about how a lot of these preachers have been marching and having prayer vigils throughout our different communities. Some on 79th, some out in Roseland, some on the West Side. But I heard the voice of some of our local business people who said, it's good to have hundreds and thousands of church members come out and pray, but they walked right past they prayed right past my business, who needed some more customers. Yes, we needed prayer, but what we needed were more customers, because a lot of us didn't make payroll. And so one of the things that we're trying to organize, and Deanna Burrell did a great job. She just jumped up, did organize some people, but over the past weekend, they had a little 5K walk on behalf of her high school in Whitney Young. And so one of the things that she said, and I saw it, and God bless you, Deanna said that, well, we're not just going to walk. We're not just going to walk for a cause. We're going to come back on 47th Street and then walk with our dollars. And so thank you to Deanna Burrell and all the other people from the Whitney Young Walk who didn't just walk for a cause. You came home and you brought it home. And you walked on 47th Street and spent dollars at Peaches and other black businesses. And that's what we need to do all the time. And so when our churches are marching and praying, we need to go back and organize. Yes, we need prayer by the thousands, but at the same time, let's come back and talk to these other preachers about, let's come back to the community and let's do some economic marches with our dollars. Because then you didn't just pray. You actually kept people in business and you grew their business because you didn't just have the faith. You came back and did the works. And that's what part of the challenge is. And so we want these kind of examples, not as you report back, not just from 47th Street, 35th, 79th, West Side, all of our majority black communities, we got the power not to just walk by and then look up when our young people are dying from the violence. And so we got to help make legal jobs available for them. And so a lot of the programs that you hear on the UBM are talking about the real live work that we're doing to take people to grow our own food again, own our own stores again, run our own gas stations again, run all the kind of things that are in our community that we keep making every other ethnic group rich. Don't have bank accounts in the black community. And yet then we're going to sit up here and watch our children steady going to jail and filling up the jails. Yes, we got a lot to talk about what's going on in the governor's race again. Governor Bruce Ronnie just announced he's back in. So much is going on with these other Democratic candidates, other people, some are running for mayor and all that. Well, it still comes back to, when you get to analyze, you have to organize. So we got more to talk about. This is veteran activist Mark Allen, chairman of National Black Wall Street Chicago, and you're right here on the UBM Network, on the Mark Allen Show. Hear my voice and hear my voice right now on the UBM Network, and we'll be right back. Otis got a program coming up, like a workshop. Otis got something coming up. Thank y'all. I see a lot of y'all tuning in. I missed some of the names. Shara, Rick Jackson, Shabandia, Catherine, Susanna. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. We're going to do this up in here. Okay, that's Saturday, November 11th. Oh, what about Reverend Keeble's thing? I forgot about it. I'll check on that tomorrow. Tribute to Mahalia Jackson at Mahalia Jackson School. Tribute to Jackson, the 28th. I'll check on that and announce that tomorrow. All right? Bruce Montgomery got over 100 kids they got jobs for. All right. Raise more questions. I see you. Hey, I see you, Vernon Burrell. I see you. My sister Michelle, hope you're feeling better. Right on. I'm gonna promote. Okay, coming up. Yeah, missing my. I don't hear nothing in here. I don't hear nothing at all when these speakers go out like that. All right, we're checking it out. Oh man, God bless. Right on. Glad to hear that, Brandon. Glad to hear it. I heard from a few other people said the same thing. I'm so glad to hear that. Glad to hear it. In the Mahalia Jackson School. I don't know where that went. I don't hear. lot of work to do, and I need y'all. Maybe I need to have a meeting next week or something like that. Let's meet around some of this stuff. Some of us should know each other and see each other outside of these airwaves and on social media. You understand? Lord have mercy. And how many times it is. All right, we're coming. I hear a little sound in my ear. I hear it. And we back, and we back, and we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, people of God, thank you for tuning once again to the Mark Allen Show. Hear my voice, and you hear my voice 5 days a week, every day, Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock p.m. until 2 o'clock p.m. right here on the UBM Radio Network. Now listen, we want all of you to join our campaign to build up our own app space. Thank all of y'all to tune in to other places on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and all that. But what we need for you to do right now, and we know that you're out there because we see you tuning in, but we got to build up our own network. So what we need you to do, I need you after the program is over, immediately, it takes like 5 seconds, not even 10 seconds. Go to our Facebook page, UBM Radio, and like the page, right? And then subscribe to our UBM Radio Network that you can then pick up all of our programming as we broadcast live as we stream live, and as we also broadcast live on TV, on YouTube, all day, every day. And if you miss any one of our shows on UBM, you can always go as a UBM subscriber and pick up any of our shows all the time. Congratulations to a lot of those. Grace be to God. I saw Brother Vernon and some others who I saw over the weekend who texted me messages. Thank God for them who have made their visits to the doctor, and they've gotten their regular checkups. Some have gotten their cancer checkups. And I'm glad to hear about those that went well. And we've got to keep this campaign going. We've got to keep this campaign going, especially amongst our black men in the community. Too many black men, young and old, they're dying too soon, and they didn't have to. They need to be going to the doctor and just check up. So if you're that rough and tough, you're in the street, you're fighting, you're doing all this, you can't be too tough to go get a blood test, right, ahead of time, and not get almost close to death like I did and maybe some others, and some who got to the doctor too late. And so our campaign all the time, there's never no conversation I can have without checking with our folk on, have you been back or even going to the doctor? And so we're learning as we go, and grace be to God, we get to testify all the time, right? So I had almost 3 setbacks since my last cancer surgery in December, and looking forward to coming up on my 1st year anniversary as a colon cancer survivor, and we got more work to do. Because I've ordered a lot of cancer information, and almost everything that I get back when it comes to men only mention prostate cancer. So evidently, we've got some more work to do in educating our people on what they need to do, and especially our men, but everybody in general needs to know the impact of colon cancer and the things that we can do to educate ourselves and to get engaged. And some of the tests are so easy. You probably see some of the commercials now, but all I'm saying is the medical community is making it too easy for a lot of us to get checked up proactively and not reactively. And so I'm just grateful to God that He has spared me through 3 setbacks since last Christmas when I had my first surgery, and I don't plan on letting that kind of stress get back to me no more, and neither should you when we are helping out each other. So as we wind down what's going on with Breast Cancer Survivors Month, we always remember those of women who fought and still fight this fight of breast cancer. And so in honor of my own mother, Ollie Allen, who lost her fight with breast cancer after a 35-year fight, and she fought. And a lot of us could keep fighting, because I still see some sisters out there who made their transition, and some young sisters. And I've heard their friends tell me how they could have survived and just lost it and didn't want to fight back and didn't think they could fight back. But they got to know there's some real answers out there that can help. And so we got to keep sharing with them and don't let them give up. Keep encouraging these sisters to keep getting these tests and help them continue to be survivors. The same way I keep telling my story to everybody, right? So don't do the same thing I did. Don't wait almost 20 years and ain't been to the doctor, right? And when you lose, and when you win your fight, I should say, with cancer, you don't win the fight with cancer only to come back and die from stress. And so you gotta have the right kind of support system around you, because like again, I went through 3 relapses. And so instead of 3 strikes and you're out, I'm gonna have 4 balls in your own. So the next time I go back in December for my annual checkup, I'm moving on. And I've already made up in my mind, nothing else can stress me out to that level that I re-aggravate the cancer and almost die, right? So we're grateful for God for those blessings, and we need other people to do the same thing with this cancer fight. There's a lot of things coming up in our community, look at some of these issues, but one of our founding sponsors who for this program, Otis Monroe and the Monroe Foundation, they've got something coming up. And since it's coming up in November, we're going to be able to talk more about that later when it comes to the issue of first-time home buyers and the things that you should know before you become a home buyer. There's something coming up in tribute to the birthday of the late, great Mahalia Jackson. That's coming up. There's a lot coming up, and there's a lot going on about what we can do with our own consumer dollars to save some of our own people. This is veteran activist Mark Allen, chairman of National Black Wall Street Chicago, and the spirit and legacy of the original Black Wall Street of Tulsa. This is the Mark Allen Show, and we're here right now, hearing my voice 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock p.m. to 2 o'clock p.m., and we'll be back right here on this UBM radio network. So, I used to hear the commercials. I took out the music just to hear the commercials. I don't hear the commercials. So, okay, we'll figure it out. This is who else tuning in. Janetta Carter, thank you for watching. John Twinlandra, thank you. Nope. Wayne Cochran, I see you. Jake, well, I see you. All right, I'm looking at her, trying to do everything all the time. But it's a good thing to get used to. And we're back. This is veteran activist Mark Allen. This is the Mark Allen Show. Hear my voice. And you're hearing my voice right now, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, right here on this UBM radio network. And once again, y'all, don't forget, as soon as the program is over, go to our Facebook page and officially join the UBM and officially like the UBM radio page. And then subscribe to the UBM radio app. So then that way, you can always get our programming all day, every day on UBM radio, okay? And we need you all to help us build up our own piece. So we're broadcasting live now, Facebook Live. We're streaming live all the time on urbanbroadcastmedia.com. But right now, we're building and growing as our TV presence is expanding on the YouTube network. So we need you to join and subscribe to the UBM radio app. We're talking about a lot of things that are going on in our community. And again, we're not here to analyze. We're here to organize. We're here to start a new version of we are the leaders we've been looking for. And right here on the UBM radio network, over and over again, you're going to hear more programming every day about those things that people ask for when they say, what are the solutions? Now, I'll speak in general, because I'll tell you the solution is use the power that God has given us to use the $50 billion that we spend in the Chicago economy. Part of the solution is using the $50 billion that we spend in Chicago, not continuing to make every other ethnic group rich and every other ethnic group working, but your people in the majority black communities where you live. And especially when, and you know you got the power, it's a matter of organizing. And somebody has to take the lead. And so, those of you that can't march, help those of us that want to. But remember, marching was never designed to solve anything. Marching was designed to cause attention to an issue. Then after you cause attention to the issue, then you have to organize. And so what I'm saying is, if you help us do what we do, with all the different programs that are here at UBM, as I mentioned before, let's take advantage of the fact that we have a lot of ministers across this city who have collectively put thousands of their own members in the streets, having prayer marches. And yet, I remember when Hannah was up and down 79th, Meeks was out in the road, somewhere else, and I heard from several business people who said, that was nice, But a lot of our black-owned businesses didn't make payroll. So while we need prayer, we don't just need thousands of people to march up and down the street praying. We need thousands of people to come up and down the street spending dollars, sustaining and increasing our business and putting our community people to work. And so that just takes some organizing. So on the one hand, we commend Reverend Hannah and Reverend Me and everybody else who's had prayer marches, who've had prayer vigils, and because they've proven that thousands of our people will respond. But what I'm saying is, you can't just pray your way through this. We've got to do some organizing. And so the good news is, we do have thousands and thousands of our people that will hit the streets and pray. But guess what? So let's go embrace them, and then let's organize and come back. And now let us have thousands and thousands of our people not just praying past their business, right? They're going to stop and spend money sustaining and increasing those businesses and jobs in those communities. And then, so that's part of the solution about bringing the violence down. You can't solve the physical violence until you help deal with this economic violence. And then I will tell you again and again, even with the cutbacks, and I know a lot of times we can make it look dark because we talk every day how the government has cut back and we got all these setbacks. But I'm here to tell you, in the midst of all that pain, still comes the power that we still have collectively, not individually, because too many people on social media try to solve everything by themselves. And we're never going to solve our problem, our collective problem, in our own little corner. Now hear me. Now I didn't come to preach, but I can. Listen. So hear me when I tell you. It takes us to have this operational unity so that we can help our people strategically. And it takes a big deal. So one of the things that I'm doing, by example, I make it my business to call people who I have differences with. I make it my business to go and talk to folk who I've had disagreements with, because our people don't care about our difference. If you collectively have the power to put me in a house, then do that. Don't tell me you can't help me because you don't like the other person that got the talent. That's what a team is. Organize on the purpose and not the personality. Let's organize an operational unity regarding the message and not arguing over the messengers. That's what we got to do. We got to do some big stuff. But listen, there's something coming up, and I'll find out more details tomorrow. But I think that our Chicago Gospel Music Heritage Museum is going to be having a tribute to our elder, Gospel great Mahalia Jackson, on the 28th at the Mahalia Jackson School. I will let you know more about that. There's some other things going on too. Like I said, one of our founding members here, Otis Monroe of the Monroe Foundation, the issue of home ownership is very busy. And a lot of people don't know what to do. A lot of times they just sign off and get into stuff because they want to own that home so bad. They just sign off, then they get caught up later on. They didn't know what to do. But listen, before you do that again, a lot of stuff that we do is in the city. But right now, for those of you that are out in Proviso Township, in the village of Maywood and those other southwestern suburbs, listen, the Monroe Foundation, in conjunction with the village of Maywood mayor and trustees, they're going to have a first-time home buyers workshop. The things you need to know before you buy your house. Know your credit, how to protect it, pre-purchase home ownership program orientation, how to retain home ownership. There's a lot going on, including the turkey giveaway and all that. Refreshment will be served. It's going on right now. You should call the number, and I'll give it out again. But the number right now is 708-771-5801. 708-771-5801. That's going to take place Saturday, November 11th at 10 a.m. in the Maywood Multi-Purpose Building, 200 South Fifth Avenue in Maywood. There's a lot going on. Listen, going on in this governor's race. Before I get there, I'm going to tell you this. Because a lot of you all, I'm going to ask all of you to do the same thing. Because eventually, it's going to come to us too. So we can't always get up every day on the day finding out who to blame for everything else. It's the alderman's fault, this person's fault, that person's fault. But now we are going to be the leaders we've been looking for. And one of the things I'm going to be campaigning on, and we'll do it if not this week, but starting next week, whatever, you know, my issue going to be tissue, right? I'm starting on that. Tissue is my issue. And what I mean by that, listen, there's a new black-owned and operated tissue manufacturing company in Chicago that makes their own toilet paper. They make their own paper towels. They've got their own toothbrushes. They've got their own dishwashing liquid. They've got their own washing powder. And so let's stop right there. When you think about the billions of dollars that we spend personally and professionally for toilet paper, paper towels, dishwashing liquid, washing powder, stop right there. If we redirect those dollars into the black-owned and operated businesses in our community, we could put hundreds, if not thousands, of black people to work. There's a number of folks on the street who've given up selling dope because they're selling toilet paper now and can go home with their head high. They're selling toothbrushes now. They're selling dishwashing liquid. And I'm telling you, we who are listening to my voice and seeing my voice, we can put hundreds of more, if not thousands more, of our own people to work selling something legal with the head high in the black community and not loose squares, bootleg CDs, loud, right? And going to jail. When we got the power to get them something legal to sell right here in the black community. So the question would now become, I'm gonna have the roll sheet because everybody tunes in. You need to check in. I just ordered my toilet paper. I just ordered my paper towels. I just ordered my dishwashing liquid. I just ordered my toothbrushes. And then you can say what everybody else is doing. Here's what I did today to put an ex-offender to work. Or maybe a no-time offender. Because I get some people in the street saying, why you focus so much on ex-offenders when I get a chance to offend nobody at all? I heard that too. So let's do it all. And we can do it, beloved, with the billions of dollars that we spend every day. And then we look at some of the church leaders, the same thing. You can put hundreds, if not thousands, of our own people to work in our own community. So the question now becomes, not what everybody else didn't do, what did you do? They'll put somebody to work and we're going to be checking you. And so you can help us do that. Now listen, this governor's race, I'm going to say this over and over again. And I get confused sometimes when I look at some of our, what are supposed to be the seasoned political figures. Because you all confuse me sometimes. And we got to go back and look. You've got the governor's race, and I don't even know all candidates running now, because the only names you hear is Pritzker and Kennedy and Ronner, and then Teal Harlem is running too and all that. But I mean, for the most part, you know, other people got to fight for visibility because these other candidates got the dollars to spend and to stay in your face every day, all the time. So you got this other candidate who quit, Anwar, the alderman, even with $800,000, he couldn't keep up, right? You had other candidates trying, but here's my big deal. The big deal is, because ultimately most people think the race is going to come down between Pritzker and Ronner, but even if it is, here is the bigger issue, friends, that I don't understand. If there's 9 candidates running, and my assumption is that there are black people, listen to this, okay? There are black people who support all of the candidates, there are black people that support all the candidates running. And what I don't see happening, you know, especially when it comes at the top of the game, especially when it comes to Pritzker and Ronner, you know, when I saw on TV this morning, there's a group that's going to be donating some specialized housing that they can put up in certain neighborhoods on empty lots for veterans. It's going to have a place for you to sleep. It's big enough for you to shower in. They call it these little mini homes. Anyway, putting up these little mini homes on empty lots in our community costs $30,000 a piece. Now, listen to this for a minute. Hear me. If it only costs $30,000 a piece to develop these specialized mini houses that can house the homeless and veterans in our community, just think for a minute if you had a vision. Do you know how many of those houses could be bought and put on the south and west sides just with the money that Ronald and Pritzker and them have spent on the major networks? So when you come to the black community, I'm not just interested in you buying all these ads on 2579. Do you know you can take $1 million off of your campaign spending, really show me you want some black votes, really show me you want these veteran votes, really show me that you want these homeless registered voters vote. Take $1 million of those dollars and you can buy hundreds of those houses and put them in our neighborhoods. That's a real sign. The same way they put up $1 million in the credit union that year, puts up $1 million in Southside Federal Credit Union, you all about to spend another $1 million on commercials that ain't nobody gonna miss. But if you're really interested and you can't get to it because everybody gotta be the boss, everybody gotta be the big somebody. And what I'm saying to you is, the black community for years has said we're just as broke before the election, during the election, and after the election. And so for that reason alone, National Black Wall Street Chicago and the Monroe Foundation put together a 10-point plan just on asking these candidates, before you take pictures, before you let them come speak, I don't care if Pritzker did everything I wanted him to do, the man still spent almost 3 hours in the National Black Wall Street Chicago offices answering 3 hours worth of questions from over 40 different people, right? That now you see a lot of it happening. He's putting offices in the black community, he's hiring black advertisers, he's got black staff members, he's got black investors, he's using black vendors. Okay, be that as it may, but what about the 9 other people running? What about the 9 other people running? So you get away from Margaret's white man better Gilbert's white man, Margaret's white man better Gilbert's white man. I mean, no, everybody should be asked the same thing. So now here we come, and nobody still knows. While every day they're spending millions and millions of more dollars on the major network, but ain't spending nothing in you. And we've got to have the operational unity. Ain't nothing wrong with asking before you come. I know your stump speech, but why don't you come and answer me beforehand? I don't care what you say you're going to do after you get elected. What are you doing while you're running? And so everybody should be asking the same thing of these candidates. Where are the millions of those dollars going when you come in the black community? And if everybody could stand on the same thing, the same way you saw a Republican put $1 million in the Southside Credit Union, don't know where the hell it went, we didn't follow up. The same way you saw Pritzker put $1 million in the South Illinois Service Federal, we need to follow up and see where it goes, right? And so, because some of the same people who are there looking for the money, I don't remember them in the fight to get it, but that's all right. That's what operational unity is. It's for the big picture. But my real point, beloved, is this. When I looked up and saw what it cost, just $30,000 to put up them little module homes for the homeless and veterans, and I think they're about to put the first one up over here on 79th and Halsted, or 78th and Halsted. But be that as it may, if these candidates for governor were really concerned, what if y'all had an operational unity piece? So wait a minute. Before you spend, Ronald got 70, as of today, Ronald got 70 million, 60 million. Pritzker got, I don't know how many million, but the point is, why is it okay to say spend that money just on the major networks? When, whether you won or lost, we will forever be able to remember you if you set aside $1 million that bought 100 of those homes so that veterans and homeless people got a place to live long after the campaign is over. And if I never saw you again, but you can't, because a lot of times, a lot of us in our leadership, we get caught in what I call sophisticated gangbanging. Everybody want to be in their corner. Everybody want to be the leader. And nobody has time, but we still get up on Facebook shaking my head about when people die. But you can't be a sophisticated gangbanger. You just as bad as the brothers in the street. When I'm up here on my level and you down on yours, when we all should be showing people in the spirit of unity, here's how you unite together. And that's why I've been about that. I'm not mad about the money went to the credit union. I'm not mad about no money. That was Illinois Service Federal. It's supposed to come. But when I see people who I know there, who I couldn't even convince to buy a bus for us to go lobby for the money at City Hall. Couldn't help fund the fight on the front end as we lobbied the bank lobby and City Hall for 8 damn near 10 years. And all of a sudden, I'm right on the next block. And I can't be found. Otis Monroe can't be found. But now here come everybody else with their hands out, shaking and taking pictures like you were the one that fought the fight. No, you got to keep the family together. And you can't forget the least of God's people who helped make it possible for you. Well, I didn't come to preach, but I can. But we got to make it. So it ain't about an ego thing, but it's like we can't show people in the street no operational unity that we can't show amongst ourselves. And we got to do that because there's so much more at stake, much bigger than 20 million, $500 million. I'll tell you about it on the last segment. This is veteran activist Mark Allen, chairman of National Black Wall Street Chicago, in the spirit and legacy of the original Black Wall Street of Tulsa. And we're here right now, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, right here at the Mark Allen Show, Hear My Voice, here, and we'll be back on the UBM Radio Network. All right, now I get a commercial. I hear the commercial on tuning in. Abina Sia, Corey Sia, thank you, man. Baby Jackson, Cousin Sia, Sugar, Richard Wooten, Sia. Thank y'all for listening. Thank you so much for listening and watching.
Or better yet, designate a texter.
Now, I ain't making no sense to tell me.
Visit stoptext.stoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad
Cancer might
Council and the
affect
National
my brain or
Traffic
something.
Safety Administration.
Cancer might affect my brain. Maybe I ain't thinking on the right here.
Someone's there to get me to use drugs.
If I'm making sense, say so. If I'm not,
No
what is
one
it?
can understand.
Oh, that just take us
Whether
on
or
the
not
heart.
they've struggled with addiction themselves, people seem to think that having someone who will listen is gonna help make it better. I'm realizing that I need help.
I'm listening.
I need help. I'm realizing that I think that having someone who will listen is going to help make it better. Whether or
And
not
what you
they
did last
struggle
time,
with
right?
addiction themselves.
Yeah. I'm glad you
Once I get you started, and then I'm gonna kill
No one can get
okay.
me to use
I-
drugs.
I get a commercial this time. That's good. All right,
My
guys.
life changed
All
because
right.
someone was there to listen.
1 in 7 Americans will struggle with addiction during their lifetime. Want to know how you can help? Go to heretolisten.com for tips and tools to help turn addiction around. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school, so we try to break that barrier. My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school. Every day after work, went straight to school, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
UBM Radio.
All right. And we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, and people of God, this is veteran activist Mark Allen, chairman of National Black Wall Street Chicago, in the spirit and legacy of the original Black Wall Street of Tulsa. You're hearing me right now on the Mark Allen Show, Hear My Voice, 5 days a week now, Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock p.m. to 2 o'clock p.m., right here on the UBM Radio Network, streaming live all the time at urbanbroadcastmedia.com. But listen, join our campaign today, and we need you all to do it. We see you all tuning in by the thousands through our other outlets. We see some of y'all watching on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and all that. That's okay. But listen, we need to build our own core network. And how do you do that? I'm glad you asked. Listen, you go when the program is over, and it only takes a minute. I promise you, it only takes a minute. Go to our social media page and like our page, UBM Radio. And then subscribe to our page for the UBM Radio app and for all the different programming that we've lined up here. And again, I'm here to tell you, and if I'm not right, you tell me I'm wrong, but when people keep saying what is the solution, you're going to find a lot of the solutions you're looking for right here. So the question don't become, what's the solution? The solution is we are the leaders we've been looking for, and far too many of we are doing more analyzing than organizing. And so we look up every day. As I mentioned before, it's a good campaign. The fight ain't over. I'm proud about the fight in the years because, as my late godmother, Reverend Willie Bell, told me, you can't sometimes keep looking for the glory of people. I didn't get into this fight for the glory of people. You got into this fight to lift up the least of God's people for the gift of God and for the approval of God. But at the same time, you become human and you got to work your way through it. But it's a lot. Because if a lot of those on the back end would have helped a lot of those on the front end, we could go a lot further. Because what happens in the black community right now, far too many people who analyze don't show up to organize. And they all get in their own little corner, like it's a sophisticated game. As long as I'm in my corner, with my handful of people, then the hell with you. And what I'm saying, we have to organize bigger than that. It took us almost 18 years. And we finally got this $20 million in the service federal. That ain't enough. It needs to be going further. But now, since that meeting was over, and since I had 3 relapses of cancer, I can count on my hand right now. Since the money arrived at ISF, I call right now and they tell you, ain't nobody been back to the finance committee meeting. Because the issue must be over then. We got to 20 million. Ain't nobody been back to the budget meeting. Ain't nobody been back to the banker's lobby. So that means if you start the campaign all over again, you get another 20 million, you'll go through the same thing again, watching everybody else work with the alderman and try to get operational unity, work with Kurt Summers and the treasurer's office and all that to get it going, and then you show up again with your hands out? All because you got some elite status or something? No, we got to operate together as the team. There's too much more. Because we didn't have operational unity, we had that same kind of money from the state treasurer to put in the Seaway. And couldn't get people to come to the meeting. And so that money just went. And then when it's too late, now the money that was there was gone. So the fight ain't never over when you see these little victories, friends. That's the whole point. We got to stay organized. We've got to stay organized intergenerationally. We've got to stay organized outside of these class divisions that are just as vicious and they're just as deadly as the fight of who controls political power and economic power on certain class levels. I mean, hell, it's just as deadly as what you see brothers and sisters doing on the streets. And we have to be the leaders we've been looking for. So again, when people look up and see tragedies, and I saw something on the news wire the other day too, and I saw this, it made me think about this sister Anjanette Albert. I can't even remember how many years it is now. Attorney for Kenetta Jenkins. They went out there and faced more bad news. You know, when they keep showing all the, they won't give the attorneys all the full transcripts, won't give the attorneys all the full video. They just keep leaking stuff, which causes even more pain and suffering to this mother, Teresa Martin. But looking at her made me think back again to a lot of these mothers who are out there, who become nameless, faceless mothers. And it made me think about, and I posted a picture later, I hope y'all go and say, God bless you or something, but Sister Anjanette Albert. And even now, I don't know if it's 10 years now, but man, it's been a lot of years. But she's another mother. And there are a lot of other mothers out there by the hundreds who are just like her, who you become yesterday's news. And as bad as it is, as bad and as high profile a case as Kenetta Jenkins is in the hotel, and as high profile a case it is, watching this mother who's been through 2 sets of breast cancer, has got to fight that fight too, in addition to justice for a baby. The sad news is, you know, when I went to see Sister Anjanette Albert, whose son, Darian Albert, was killed out there at Finger High School some years ago, because of the pain and suffering in our community, another mother takes that mother's place. And then another mother. And then after a while, you won't even know Kenetta Jenkins' name. You won't know Teresa Martin's name because now they become nameless, faceless people. Because now it's another mother. And so a lot of us, when you look up, there's room out here to organize. There's some other mothers out here who keep looking up saying, evidently my daughter and my son's death, tragic death, didn't mean nothing to nobody and they didn't get killed on TV. Right? Nobody comes with a prayer vigil. Nobody comes when the cameras came and gone. And so it's just good to be able to help lift this sister up, Anjanette Albert, because, and other mothers like her, every time you see a tragedy like this, all that does is bring back the memories of the tragic death of your child. And so we need to be organizing all the time. How do we develop a committee sometimes just to remember and go by to see some other mother whose child didn't make TV, but whose death was just as tragic. We know who they are. But sometimes, a sister told me, Brother Allen, I know you say it's not right, but in my eyes, it only seems y'all come around when their death makes the media. And the only way to prove a lot of these mothers wrong is that some of us just start showing up and surprising them with a prayer vigil one day, surprising them just with some love and affection to let them know that when the cameras are gone, or maybe didn't come at all, somebody still believes that their baby's life had value. And so we've got a lot to talk about and a lot to organize, and so we want you to keep tuning in, because that's where we're at right now. As I mentioned before, that fight about the $20 million going to Illinois Service Federal, okay, that's one thing. But one of the things we've got to stop doing, beloved, is we've got to be organized to make sure, even after you have fights like that. I just left a funders meeting downtown with a funder and a banker, because what's been happening on 47th Street, you've got some more public and private funders who want to fund some new black women to own and operate their own beauty supply store. If you don't want to possess a foreign owner, do you have the capacity to own a store yourself? And then the question becomes, after you get through marching, at the end of the day, are you organized after you got through protesting? And so we want to be able to help prepare some more people. And we're glad about Vernon Spales over there at the barbershop where I get my haircut, over at Hair Experts, 4653 South King Drive, right? VS Virgin Hair. I'll be posting that too. Because one, he was prepared, because we just can't criticize these other ethnic groups. Did you show up? And were you able to manage a black hair care spot? So we're here to say yes. And so we're looking forward to supporting Hair Experts and VS Virgin Hair, because we got to prove. Other than that, you're just lying. You're talking loud, saying nothing. But there's more spots to come, because they're still opening up more non-black owned beauty supply stores. We still got a fight coming, and we're coming. It makes no sense to fight for a black to get a contract and then we go on the job and you got majority non-black people working. We got to fight that too. What sense does it make to fight a fight for a black face to get a contract? And then you got just as many non-black workers on the site as the white developers. So we got work to do. And so we need you. We need you, not just to analyze, but to organize. So we need you to fight this fight with us. And we need you to help be the leaders that we've been looking for. So again, God bless to those brothers who checked in with me today, offline and online. Thank God that your cancer checkup came through. Let's help find some more brothers who still ain't went to the doctor. Let's find some more brothers who still got to go. Let's have some more victories in this cancer fight. And keep on praying for me. I'm committed, after 3 setbacks, not going back for the 4th, other than to celebrate that the 3 are over and we survived. And there's other people out there that need to help too. And get ready. Be on the committee. Help us sell these black-owned and operated products to our own people. Clark on the Wall says this all. Thank you for listening and watching. As always, empowering you, remember to believe in God, because God is love. Love is what the world needs right now. Remember, in life, nothing is guaranteed by the end of it. We were born to die. But it's not that bad, because in between birth and death, there's life. And it can be as positive as you want it to be, as long as you think positive. That means to keep a smile on your face and some warmth in your heart. And when a friend is down that he needs you, reach out and touch him, okay? And remember to always think positive, no matter how negative a situation may develop in your life. Remember that you are God's child. Yes, indeed, you are somebody. And you can do whatever you want to do and be whatever you want to be with the power of your own mind. If your mind can conceive it and your heart can believe it, know within yourself that you can achieve it. You got to believe in yourself first, and others will believe in you too. Oh, God. Thank you so much for listening. Hear my voice. Hear my voice. Hear my voice. God bless. Thank you all for watching and listening. Thank you all so much. But listen, I need you all right now. There's so much. We're off the air now. Listen, we got so much work to do, and I know that we can do it. Thank everybody for tuning in, and now do this to me too. Thank the people that's on your page that shared it. Last week, almost 100 people shared our page. And so the viewership is going up by the thousands. But listen, that's not enough. And I'm going to say it over and over again. I don't want to be the new version of power, but we ain't fighting for no power. I don't want to be the new version of empire if we're not fighting for a new version of real empire on the streets. Other than that, we don't need more people to analyze. We need more people to organize. And so, yes, God has intervened. Yes, Jesus has taken the wheel. But he's given us, beloved, the power to go and help save and serve our own people. And so those who can, we need you. We need you for those who can. Go to the social media page, UBM Radio, join it, subscribe to it, stay locked in. We need you all to do that because we know you're watching. Just 100 more of you. Let's do that today by tomorrow, and let's keep building. Those of you that are listening and watching, listen. I gotta run. But listen, those of you can help right now. You don't want to march, you don't have to march, right? You don't have to march, but help us that want to do the fighting. Over $500 million, we still out here. And missed some meetings this week, we couldn't get people there. That don't make no sense. Everybody's looking up to see people in housing. You want to see people in the jobs. You want to see people in the contracts. But how you gonna get that? How you gonna get funded by the same people you fighting? Come on, friends, let's do it. So listen, you can go to PayPal account and use Black Wall Street Chicago at yahoo.com. You can go to the website at naturalblackwallstreetchicago.org. And you can go, if you're in the neighborhood, drop off a check or a donation. 4655 South King Drive, 4655 South King Drive, Suite 203, 60653. All right, got that. So let's do that. We're going to keep checking y'all because it's up to us. You can't point fingers at Jesse Farrakhan Shopton. This is on us, right? And we can do it. So thank you once again for hearing and seeing my voice. God bless. All right.